Well, the big day is right around the corner, and you've opted for an intimate ceremony, but a big reception. And how do you handle it all? Wedding guru Michael Nolte and author of Wonderful Weddings is here to share the best case scenarios. So let's talk about this. It was a Leawood family's wedding, but they were planning it really kind of in the middle of nowhere at Central Missouri Farm. And yeah, we said farm.
Yeah, it's a farm that they own as well. They split their time between the farm in Central Missouri and their home in Leawood. And it was April, and so it was kind of chilly and overcast and a little bit breezy, but the trees were budding and it was just absolutely magical.
Well, it kind of sounds like just this picturesque scene, and of course, they probably had a lot of guests, and you've got to fit them and make them feel comfortable.
Well, and that was the dilemma. People ask me that all the time. If our venue does not hold as many people as we'd like to have, what can we do? And I suggested in this case, why don't we do a private ceremony and then do a very large reception? Okay. So we did a private ceremony for only 60 guests that was on the home of the bride's parents' farm, open sky, with not really a good rain plan. And then we didn't need it. And then we had about 500 guests waiting in this fabulous, enormous tent. You'll see on the Peloton that we had two invitations. The large invitation went out for the reception, which everybody received, and then the 60 guests who made the cut for the private ceremony got the small card inside.
Okay, well that's really such an important thing, because that way you're keeping everything separate. You're able to accommodate all the guests. And you know, how did this all work out for everyone?
It worked out beautifully. I am seldom hands-on as much as I was for this one, but I was actually on property for 2 days in advance, and we created scaffolding that went through the center of this huge tent, and I was actually up on the scaffolding myself, entwining English ivy into Edison lights coming down. And
Michael, I saw this photo. It's like right now we're looking at these beautiful wedding pictures, but man, that was so funny. You were just really up there.
I was a couple days on scaffolding.
There we go.
That was the beginning of whenever it was empty, and then from that point on, I felt more like Michelangelo than Michael Nolte.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But then we created these bolts, bought lots of these bolts of khaki fabric, and kind of broke up the ceiling of the white tent. And then what made it kind of special was very long European banquet tables, kind of like farm tables, but they were draped in a beautiful blue damask fabric. And then the flowers that we went down the front of them, instead of arrangements of fresh, we did these long planter boxes, and I had them pre-planted in advance with bulb plants that would be popping in April. So it was daffodils, tulips, hyacinths, and you could see there that the tables just went on and on and on. It was a very complicated seating plan, and we had tables 1, 2, 3, and 4 with an A side and a B side. So it was kind of like getting on Southwest Airline. Everybody had kind of a waiting area.
So this is how you actually fit all those people in a tent.
And actually, we were able to transfer all those people into that tent and found their seats in about 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, and that just sounds like a wedding plan, just dream, really.
It worked. I took a lot of good Kansas City vendors with me down there. Atlantic Express, a phenomenal band, Mike Shortino of Entertainment to Go, and it had just nonstop dancing as a result of that once that dance floor got filled.
Okay, and then let's also talk about the end of the ceremony, because this ended with a
the
bang.
end of the reception.
Yes.
The end of the reception, yes. Well, there was a fireworks presentation that would rival something that we've seen at Corporate Woods here in Kansas City.
Oh my gosh.
And the guests filtered out of the tent, and I thought, how are we going to get them to leave a good party, to go out into the meadow for the fireworks? And the guy who was doing the fireworks, he just started a couple test booms, and boy, people flooded right out. And so they were all watching this incredible fireworks presentation that probably lasted 20 to 25 minutes. Meanwhile, we reset the interior of the tent, and so when the people came back in from fireworks, then we were ready for the after party. So out came even more food and more open bar, and people danced. And of course, when you own the property, there's no curfew. And I don't know when people finally went home. In fact, they still might be there dancing.
Well, they probably are, yeah. But
it was a wonderful party.
We all love fireworks, but the family has a special tie-in with the fireworks, correct?
They did. The groom and both his sisters had worked for this fireworks gentleman, this company in Central Missouri, since they were in high school.
Oh.
And they knew him very well, and it was just the fireworks owner's pleasure to literally pull out the stops and end this with a huge bang for Alex, and he certainly did that. Yeah.
And all these people just had such a great time.
This picture shows the patio of the parents' home. You can see the red barn in the background, which also figured prominently into some of the family pictures. There I am in the front, actually, trying to explain where people need to be moving. And then
I was going to say, is that Michael?
That's me right there, yeah. I'm zipping around, and then we moved everyone into the tent. and the family red barn, which is the setting of many of their pictures that they've had for many years.
Well, just such a beautiful couple and a beautiful night that they'll remember forever.
And the wedding is featured in this month's issue of 435 magazine too, so if people like to see it more, and it's also, of course, on the Nolte's Bridal Facebook page.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Michael.
My pleasure, always. See you next month, Melinda.
Yes.